Hey sexies, welcome back to Interesting Nothings. We are here. We are back. It's a Tuesday. I was supposed to record on a Monday. Y'all didn't need to know that, but I'm telling you guys anyway. Welcome back to Interesting Nothings. I'm your favorite host, Jasmine Malone, where we just basically talk about anything and everything that I want to talk about. Hence the title, Interesting Nothings. How have I been doing? I would say I'm pretty up and down. Really just a roller coaster over here. I'd say I felt kind of down actually lately. I feel like I feel down in like every episode. At least that's what it seems like nowadays. But I've had like a foggy mental state these past couple of weeks because there's been like a lot of changes. And I'm sorry to like bring down the mood. I feel like I'm like going into like this sadness. It's going to get up because today I'm going to be talking about like the narration at the beginning of like princess movies and how like it's the like story that like kind of preps you for like the main story. You know what a narration is. Okay, but the beginning narration of specific princess movies that I have that I'm going to reveal later on, and then I'm going to reveal to you my own princess kind of narration of my own like princess story. Does that make sense? I'm sorry guys, I feel like I'm like, actually I need to stop. I need to just stop. Jasmine, we are at peace right now. Stop trying. I always do this. I feel like every time I talk I like go in circles because I feel like I can't move on without like trying to make sure it makes sense, which obviously that's how communication works. That's how talking works. See, I just did it again. I just went backwards because I'm like trying to explain like what I'm saying. Okay, this is me becoming self-aware right now on air. But yeah, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. I feel like it's going to be really fun. This is a different type of episode. I've put a lot of effort into this, so definitely stay tuned. But before we get into that, I do want to say that this is the 22nd episode. This is a special episode because guess what, guys? I'm 22. It's 2022. Oh, that would have been cool if it was like September 22nd. Well, it's September 27th. That kind of sounds similar, but yes, it's 22 in year 2022 when I'm 22, and it's on September 27th, which is kind of like a 22, but it's not. It's really not. I've really liked that number combination this year, obviously, because it's just a repetition, basically. And actually, really, I love angel numbers. So, you know, anything repeated numbers, I just see that as a sign from God, and I really honestly see them everywhere. And yeah, so there's that for you. Oh my God. See, my mind just blinked right there. I was like, why is my mind blinking? Okay, let's keep going. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Y'all are just witnessing me like struggle. But I'm gonna try to keep all of this in because I really want you guys to see the real and the raw, because normally I feel like I would have cut that out. Okay, why are we still here? Okay. So yes, we are on the 22nd episode. Love that. And I just love the number 22 because this is, I was gonna say this is to you, but this is for you, which is 22. Whoa. Okay. So also guys, okay, so I've been trying to like do my hair in a way that's more natural, because normally I would like braid my hair up and wear like wigs and stuff. I've been practicing doing my hair again, you know, putting it in wash and goes, trying to style it, trying to learn my hair. And it's crazy, guys, because like I've been failing. Well, honestly, I've been trying like new methods, so I feel like that's really what it is, because I did find like a really good routine, and then I started changing it because I saw what another person did, and I was like, well, maybe that would work for my hair, but I didn't have like the exact products, but I was like, oh, well, maybe it'll still work, You guys, it's been a trial and error, but I am trying to get better at doing my hair and having an even better wash and go and just paying attention to my hair. It's whenever you're doing your hair, especially if you're a black girl and you have type 4 hair, sometimes it can be a struggle trying to listen and learn and love your hair. You know, it can be a struggle sometimes because when I think something's going to turn out right, then I'm like, well, it clearly didn't. I can't control my hair. I learned that in philosophy. You can't control everything, and I can't control my hair. And so you can do as much as you can, but you know, your hair is just going to react the way it is because your hair is a whole separate thing, even though it's a part of you, but it's its own separate thing. It's going to do its own thing. So I'm just trying to communicate with it, you know, see what it likes, see what it loves, you know, try to alter my routine because I just feel like I'm really just evolving, and I need to evolve my hair routine into a, you know, even better hair routine. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. It's been frustrating because I've been trying to like do my hair and it hasn't been turning out the way I wanted to, and so it's just really annoying. And I've been using like a lot of product, so it's a lot, guys. It's just a lot. I don't want to explain everything because then you're gonna be like, oh my god, it's so much, and now you're like, but maybe it's not even that much. But guys, it is. Anyways, me trying to prove myself. So yeah, I've been trying to do my hair and really appreciate my curls again because I really do love my hair. I love it to like the bottom of the earth because it is earth. It's my own plant that's growing out of my head, and so I just want to take care of it and tend to it, and again, listen to it, build a relationship with it. That's really what you do with your hair, or I hope you do that with your hair. And unless you just like cut it off, which is fine because you can cut off, you can do whatever you want, you know, it's really you. But you know, if you want it to grow and everything, you gotta build a relationship with your hair. It's much like tending to a plant, you know, you still gotta build a relationship with the plant. It's kind of a living thing. So, you know, water it, put it in sun, you know, give it its what it needs to flourish, to grow, and that's exactly what I'm trying to do to my hair. So yeah, that's something that I've been working on. Also, I uploaded my Butterfly Love rebrand video, which I'm really excited about because it didn't take me that long to make the video, but it was really fun to edit the video because I put a lot more effort into it, and it's just a cool video. If you haven't checked it out already, you can. Butterfly Love, BTTRFLYLUV on YouTube. It's my rebrand video. It's actually on my YouTube channel. Obviously it's on my YouTube channel. It's on my like main page. You can like organize like videos on like your main page when someone looks up like your channel, and it's the first video on my main page because it's a really important video, and I want everyone who, you know, if you think about subscribing, whatever, to look at that video first because that's what I'm bringing to the table. I'm just really excited about that video, and I am excited about my YouTube channel. I definitely want to get more, you know, what's the word? I want to get more consistent with uploading and everything like I used to before. I just have a lot more things on my mind nowadays, and so sometimes it just weighs down on me, and then it's hard to get out of it. Maybe it's my demons winning, and I'm trying not to like have my demons win. That's why I was saying, like, you know, having a foggy brain and feeling kind of down lately. So, you know, I'm trying to get back up and just keep going, like one step forward, you know, keep going, put your best. I'm putting my best into making this episode, even though I'm fumbling, but hey, I'm here and I pressed record and we're about to make a really cool ass episode. So obviously I need to just suck it up and just shut up. No, I don't need to shut up. I am here and I'm going to keep going, and I'm just going to beat who I was yesterday. I mean, that's really one of my main goals. It's a really simple goal. And I encourage you, whoever, you know, you are listening, to try to beat who you were the day before. Even if, you know, you didn't make up your bed yesterday, you made up your bed today. You know, it's super small, but like beat who you was yesterday. and keep it up and keep going and adjust, pick different things once you mastered, maybe you make your bed every day now. Oh my God, 333. Okay. And, now pick another thing. And then next thing you know, the snowball is only going to get bigger. And so that's something that I try to live by. Anyways, this isn't an advice episode. I guess it is. Well, no, not an episode, podcast. This isn't an advice podcast, but actually kind of is. It's kind of an advice podcast. I feel like some of the things I do share kind of gives advice, whatever. Anyways, let's hop into my vibe check. If you don't already know what this is, it's where I talk about music, my mood, and I have a poll question. So let's get right into music. I have Gotta Go My Own Way by High School Musical. Yes, this is kind of random, but this is kind of how I've been feeling lately. Like, this is honestly how I've been feeling. I feel like Gabriella. I feel like well, I don't want to explain everything. So basically, it randomly came across my head. I was like, oh my God, that's exactly how I feel. I gotta go my own way. I don't want to sing the rest because copyright. But yeah, I feel like I'm just like, I gotta go my own way. And then Troy's like, what about us? And, people in my life are like, what about us? And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I just gotta be alone. Like, I gotta be alone and really like work on myself. Because guys, like I said before, I've been in a mental rut and I feel like I'm just kind of sick. I gotta get better, Anyways, but yes, that's a song that I have in my music section. And also, I just like High School Musical. That was my childhood. So obviously, I got to put him in Interesting Nothing stuff. And as for my mood, so I kind of made this outline yesterday and I put mentally drained. Guys, oh my God, I was just so negative. Okay, let's maybe change it. What am I feeling right now? I'm feeling kind of... For the first time in a while, I'm feeling a little bit optimistic, I'm feeling a little bit wait, did I say that right? Oh my God. Wow, my brain isn't working. Optimistic. Yeah, optimistic. You guys, I literally just forgot the word. Okay, optimistic. Yes, I've been feeling a little bit more optimistic. Well, no, in this moment, I feel optimistic because I'm just happy that I am finally recording. It took me forever to just turn on the mic and make, my outline and everything. Like, guys, I have like a schedule that I'm trying to follow and it's so hard for me to actually follow it. And I'm like, I'm beating myself up because I'm like, I really want to follow, this schedule. And I like, once I don't follow it, I'm just like mad at myself because like I'm like, why didn't you do it? Like, why didn't you do it? Like, you knew to do it but you didn't. And I'm like, I'm not like that. Like, that's not me at all. So just, yeah, I'm trying to just change it. I feel optimistic. I'm just recording right now and I'm in a happier space because I am doing my hobby and it's really fun, even though I was about to say something negative. I'm not even gonna do that. But yeah, that's my mood right now. My poll question is water or fire. This is hard. This kind of reminds me of like zodiac signs. And if you didn't know, I'm a Capricorn. Capricorns are earth signs. And not to be cocky or anything, but I feel like earth signs are the elite signs. Come on now. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, like, come on now. Those are elite ass signs. But we're talking about water or fire. And not in regards to zodiac signs, but I guess you can apply it if you want to. But I mean, it's not like I'm really trying to make it about that. Anyways, water or fire. My first initial instinct, I think, is to say fire because I like the heat. I don't know. I just like, it seems like it's like dangerous, even though like my mind is racing. Okay. It just seems dangerous. It seems fun. Like, like it's fiery. It's like, ready to go. Like, it doesn't stop. But water. Now, I honestly, when I was younger, I wanted water powers. So, or I felt like I had water powers. I thought I was a water sign. I really wanted to be a water sign until I realized I was an earth sign. And I was like, oh my God, I love the earth sign even more. But before, I was like, oh, because I said, like, you know, when I was younger, I kind of wanted to be a water sign for some reason. Oh, I know what it was. It was because of this, the Tinkerbell fairy. She was like, her powers were blue, or no, her powers, I said blue, her powers were water. And so I was like, oh my God, I want to be that fairy. And her powers were like water powers. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like, I want to be that. I don't know, guys. I don't know which one to choose, water or fire. It's like my younger self is saying water, and then like my current self is saying no, fire. I think I'm gonna say fire. I think I'm gonna say fire because, you know, fire is orange. I love the color orange. I love, you know, I already love the color red. And so I don't know, this was hard. And sometimes, like, I already know what my answer is going to be whenever I write these questions, but this one I didn't know what my answer was going to be. I was kind of 50-50 on both because I didn't know. And so I think I would say fire. Like, fire just seems fun, you know. It seems like, let's go do this shit, you know. Like, I would want to be with like a fire ass person, you know. So yeah, fire. Okay, now let's get into the main topic of this episode, which is we're going to be going into the princess beginning narrations, and then we're going to get into my own princess story that I made up for myself. So we have Sleeping Beauty, Beauty and the Beast, and Cinderella. I'm going to read all of them and then like give my own 2 cents on all of them. And then we're going to read my own. So let's just get right into it. And guys, I really love, now that, you know, I'm an adult, young adult actually, because I don't really see myself as a full adult. I'm a young adult and my mind is developing. You know, it's not fully developed because I heard by 25 it's fully developed. But watching these movies back, I, you know, realize I understand a lot more. I actually understand the story a lot better, obviously, because I'm older and I understand more things. And I guess I'll say my favorite princess, my favorite princess movie when I was a kid was Ariel, The Little Mermaid. I loved Ariel. But I would say my favorite now, I don't have a favorite now, but the ones that I like more now are Sleeping Beauty and Aladdin. I like Aladdin because of maybe an obvious reason. I'm not going to say it because I don't know. I'm just not going to say it. But maybe, you know, if you know Aladdin, I feel like you might know. Well, I like the story too. It's not like, you know, just the name. I like the story. Like it's a cute story, you know. And so, oh wait, I just now realized that my story is like the opposite of Aladdin. It kind of is like the opposite of Aladdin. Okay. Anyways, but yeah, I like Aladdin and I like Sleeping Beauty. And I think it's because like I realize they kind of relate to me. Like those 2 movies, I relate to them. I understand them. And, you know, I love Beauty and the Beast. I love all the princess movies, honestly. But those are my 2 favorite as of right now in this moment. And so let's just dive into one of my favorites, Sleeping Beauty, the beginning narration. And in this movie, they have a storybook at the beginning of the movie, obviously. And it's like they're reading through the pages, you know, setting the scene, you know, trying to reel you into what you're about to see. So this is Sleeping Beauty, the beginning of her story. And I'm gonna try to say it in like the best, like, you know, narration voice I can do. In a faraway land long ago lived a king and his fair queen. Many years had they longed for a child, and finally their wish was granted. A daughter was born. They called her Aurora. Aurora, sweet Aurora. Yes, they named her after the dawn, for she filled their lives with sunshine. Then a great holiday was proclaimed throughout the kingdom, so that all of high or low estate might pay homage to the infant princess. And our story begins on that most joyful day. I love that. Okay, also this episode was also inspired by like the what's it called? The poems that they like. If you don't know Sleeping Beauty, she has like 3 fairy people that are like giving her gifts, because the movie opens where the Princess Aurora is a child, and like I said in that narration, we're seeing her like it's a celebration, so they're trying to gift her, you know, their own gifts, you know, as fairies, you know, magical gifts. And so there's 2 gifts that she gets, 2 good gifts, and in the movie they like sing this poem, and I thought it was just like really, really cute, and I was like, oh my god, I wonder what my poem would be like, my like princess poem. And so I'm gonna read those because it's just fun. If you don't know like if she got I'll share them to you in these poems. So one of them was, one gift, beauty rare, gold of sunshine in her hair, lips that shame the red rose, she'll walk with springtime wherever she goes. And I thought that was so cute. Like that's such a nice gift. Like you're like giving her like beauty, like it just paints her. You could just see like what type of princess, or not even princess, what type of person she's meant to be. One gift, beauty rare, gold of sunshine in her hair, lips that shame the red rose, she'll walk with springtime wherever she goes. Like that is so nice. Like wow. And then the next gift the fairy gives her is, one gift, the gift of song, melody her whole life long, the nightingales her tune adore, bringing his sweet serenade to her door. Like that is so nice. That is so nice. That one also paints a picture of what she'll be like, you know, basically saying that she's going to have a sweet voice. Well, no, a voice that's like a song, you know, a melody her whole life long. Like that's just so beautiful, so pretty, so gorgeous. Like it's just, she's full of sunshine and song and springtime basically, and Goldilocks. I just wanted to read those. I really love Sleeping Beauty. It's one of my favorite stories. It's one of my favorite princess stories, and there's a lot of things that you can learn, I think, from that story too. So, and then also I used to be scared of that villain, the what's it called, Maleficent. I used to be scared of her because she was just scary. I was like, oh my god, the green, the crow, everything. But now we have Beauty and the Beast, and I think this beginning narration, this one's a little bit longer, but I liked this beginning narration because it really like breaks down, you know, it really sets up, you know, what the story's going to be about and everything. Obviously it gives history. So this one is, once upon a time in a faraway land, a young prince lived in a shining castle. Although he had everything his heart desired, the prince was spoiled, selfish, and unkind. But then one winter's night, an old beggar woman came to the castle and offered him a single rose in return for shelter from the bitter cold. Repulsed by her haggard appearance, the prince sneered at the gift and turned the old woman away. But she warned him not to be deceived by appearances, for beauty is found within. And when he dismissed her again, the old woman's ugliness melted away to reveal a beautiful enchantress. The prince tried to apologize, but it was too late, for she had seen that there was no love in his heart, and as a punishment, she transformed him into a hideous beast and placed a powerful spell on the castle and all who lived there. Ashamed of his monstrous form, the beast concealed himself inside his castle with a magic mirror as his only window to the outside world. The rose she had offered was truly an enchanted rose, which would bloom until his 21st year. If he could learn to love another and earn her love in return by the time the last petal fell, then the spell would be broken. If not, he would be doomed to remain a beast for all time. As the years passed, he fell into despair and lost all hope, for who could ever learn to love a beast? Wow, guys, I love Beauty and the Beast. Like, and that's even a lesson in itself. Like, coming from me being, I've transformed from being, I guess you could say, quote unquote, ugly. And just in this story, the beginning, narration, you hear about, you learn that, yeah, beauty is honestly within. You can't always judge a person's character based on, if they're not so I was about to say society beautiful, if they don't fulfill like society's standards of beautiful. I know for me, I just wasn't healthy. So if you're not healthy, you also kind of give, an ugly appearance. Just think of like, a flower that's not taken care of, it doesn't look the way it's supposed to. It's, damaged. It's not flourishing as the flower should. So that's how I was, and I feel like I was a beggar woman at some time in my life. Not even beggar, because I haven't like begged people, but I feel like asking for like the smallest thing, and then it's like, you get it's like, no, actually you get the short end of the stick, because you're already kind of ugly, and you're already your mind is already programmed to work a certain way, so I'm just not gonna like help you, basically. And not like people have done that to me, but basically that's what the prince was, I'm just filling in the gaps here. This is very subjective, can be changed, but it's just sad that some people are like that. And people who are like that, yeah, you are a beast. And I feel like in some ways I can be a beast too. I feel like actually I was turning into a beast. That's why I left my job, because I feel like I was turning into a beast, and not like, beast mode where you're hustling and, getting to the bag and like doing all that stuff. No, like a horrible like beast. I feel like I was turning into someone like they're mentioning here. So I feel like I've been almost on both sides. I've been a beast. If you really want to like think of it, with being quote unquote ugly and stuff, like this does speak a lot to me now that I'm like really thinking about it. And so I just love that beginning narration. It really sets up the scene for the movie, and it also gives an important lesson at the very beginning, because that's basically what the whole story is about, giving someone not even a second chance. Well, maybe a second chance. I don't know. It's like giving people, I don't want to say benefit of the doubt, but it's like you're giving other people space to be themselves, I guess. I don't know. Okay, maybe I'm thinking too much about this and it's not like, deep like that. But anyways, it's basically you should have, space for love despite what people look like. There's always beauty within everybody, every single body, because we are all parts of God in different ways, and God is all of us together. And so God doesn't skip, anybody. The way of the world, it doesn't, we are all beautiful, even if we're not like society's beautiful, or even if you're, unhealthy, you're still beautiful. If you have to search for it deep down inside, you gotta just do that because it's there. So anyways, let's move on to Cinderella. I love this story. One of my favorites too. Honestly, I feel like I can relate to all the princess movies, which is weird. But let's go into the beginning narration of Cinderella. It says, once upon a time in a faraway land, there was a tiny kingdom, peaceful, prosperous, and rich in romance and tradition. Here in a stately chateau, there lived a widowed gentleman and his little daughter, Cinderella. Although he was a kind and devoted father and gave his beloved child every luxury and comfort, still he felt she needed a mother's care, and so he married again, choosing for his second wife a woman of good family with 2 daughters just Cinderella's age. By name, Anastasia, Anastasia, and Drizella. It was upon the untimely death of this good man, however, that the stepmother's true nature was revealed. Cold, cruel, and bitterly jealous of Cinderella's charm and beauty, she was grimly determined to forward the interest of her own two awkward daughters. Thus, as time went by, the chateau fell into despair, for the family fortunes were squandered upon the vain and selfish stepsisters, while Cinderella was abused, humiliated, and finally forced to become a servant in her own house. And yet, through it all, Cinderella remained ever gentle and kind, for each dawn she found new hope that someday her dreams of happiness would come true. Wow, that's like a hopeful, like, beginning narration. I love that one. Not going to go into how it relates to me, but there's just thinking about that, it's like there's so much evil that goes on in the world that is like, I don't want to say normalized, but it's like the world is so evil, you know, like I feel bad for Cinderella because, I mean, obviously she makes it out of it, you know, if you know the story, but in the moment, if you were in Cinderella's shoes, you might feel like it's never, ever, ever going to end, because it's like you don't have any family and you're in a whole other family and they're forcing you to be a servant. Maybe that's kind of like the similarity among princesses. Like, to become a princess, you gotta like have self-confidence and to stand up for what you believe in, and, you know, just to not be treated like trash. Because Cinderella, it's like she kind of like didn't stand up for herself. Like, if you don't want to be a servant in your own house, that means you just let shit happen to you, you know. You didn't have like a sense of self. So that's horrible. That's just horrible. And it's like, who can really help her? Because it's not like she can really call for help because she doesn't really have nobody. So that's just so sad. So sad. But then, you know, she makes it out of it. And that just goes to show that there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. So never think that there's no light, because even if you don't think there's a light, there is. There is. It'll come, because God will like ultimately take care of you. As like maybe corny as that sounds, even though it's not really corny, whatever. It's just what I believe. And if you don't believe in God, well, you'll get out of the situation. Something will happen where you'll get out of the situation. Just think of COVID. We thought things were going to be a certain way for like a long ass time, but the pandemic happened. That came out of nowhere and switched everything up. Like, life is full of changes. So don't think you're ever going to just stay in a place for a long ass time, even though you may stay in a place for a long ass time, but there will be a change one way or another. There will be a change, because change is the most consistent thing in life. So anyways, yes, I love Cinderella. I love that beginning narration. I love all of these beginning narrations. It just really paints the picture on what the story is going to be about. And it also has some important lessons. Even in the beginning, you know, the beginning narration has important lessons. Now we're going to get into my own narration. It's not even a narration, because as I was writing it, I was like, oh, let's make this a narration, whatever. And then it kind of turned out into being like a whole story. So let's share the story of Jasmine. Here we go. Once upon a time, and also I actually haven't read back through this, so hopefully it makes sense. I probably should have read back through this, but you guys, I was just on a roll. Like I said, I was trying to make a narration, but then I was like, wait, I just kept going and kept going and kept going. It's not super long, but I'll explain everything at the end. Okay. Once upon a time, there was a magical village where all types of powers reside. From invisibility to time travel, nothing was off limits. In this village was a curious young girl who yearned to make magic just like everyone else. She was born to parents outside of the village, as they had traveled there when she was young. Her name was Jasmine. She tried and tried to get it right, but every time something was a little bit off. It frustrated her, as she felt all her efforts were going to waste since she couldn't perform magic. One day, the king and queen were looking for a princess for their son. They called all the young ladies of the village to travel to a faraway land of unbelievable mystic and wonder. She took on the challenge and went solo on her journey to potentially win over her prince. Along the way, she encounters so many challenges that makes her have to be creative in order to get through. She wanted to learn to tap into her magic, and in doing so, she finally learned what the root of her magic was: love. She realized she hadn't loved herself as a person. And when she was learning to practice magic, she realized instead of giving out love, she was giving out the aura of hatred. Through this revelation, she started to tap deeper into her heart, listening to her body and diving deep into her senses with the aura of love. Her hair grew, her skin changed, her body toned up, and she even made friends with the animals. She arrives to the kingdom finally and is exuding confidence that she will win over the prince and live happily ever after. However, she starts to see the other young ladies with their powers and begins to feel small like she was before learning her magic, and feels left out, isolated, and worthless. In that moment, though, she closed her eyes and looked within. She saw a bright light. It gleamed and glimmered and was starting to talk to her, giving her the reminder that her magic is special just like everyone else's. It may be different, but that doesn't mean it's not good. She then feels this glow spread throughout her body. She opens her eyes to see that the glow is coming out of her hands, her hair, and her feet. She immediately feels embarrassed because she all of a sudden feels everyone's eyes on her when they were dismissing her before. Not knowing what to do, she hears the voice inside her head tell her that it's okay, that you glow. Shine for everyone to see. This is your magic. She then holds her head up high and looks ahead to the castle where the king, queen, and the prince were sitting. She then sees the prince stand up and immediately points in her direction and says, "I want her." To her dismay, she changed the color of her glow to many beautiful colors that no one has ever seen before. Then all of a sudden, there was a clear path to make it up to where the king and queen were sitting. She starts to walk the path, although slightly embarrassed that even more people were looking at her. The voice inside her says to keep going and starts affirming her on her way down the path to meet her beloved prince. When they meet, they start to talk and get to know each other, and she learns that he's also struggled with his magic and can quote unquote glow too. They shared the same magic, and with that they fell in love and learned that your match is out there somewhere. Even when you feel disqualified, love overrules everything, and it all begins with loving yourself and where you come from. Then they lived happily ever after. The end. Okay, hopefully that made sense, you guys. Again, that was my first time like really reading it, and obviously, you know, I would have to like revise it and edit it and everything. But basically, I feel like that was like a really cool story because I feel like it's like different, you know, than the typical story, like princess story. Also, obviously, you know, it's about me, so like I feel like that like it obviously like really relates to me. But I like how I'm about to like say my name, but I like how Jasmine, she didn't have, you know, she didn't believe in herself at first. She didn't, like, even though she tried to do her magic and everyone else was doing their magic, but her magic, you know, she was trying, or she just didn't know, like, she just didn't know how to like tap into her magic. She was learning. But it was in that moment when she was by herself and she was faced with the biggest challenges of life that she learned to love herself and learn to dig within to find your magic. And I feel like even with magic in general, if we were to actually perform magic on earth, it would have to come from within. Like it comes from you using all your senses together to produce something, you know, produce magic. And you can't just say bibbity bobbity boo without using your heart or without using your mind or using them together, without using your senses to really make it happen. In this case, you know, her magic was rooted in love. You know, you gotta be also in the right mindset to perform magic. You can't just operate in a hateful spirit, because it won't produce good magic, or it won't produce magic at all in this case. And so you have to come from a root of love to really have that good magic and, you know, actually have the magic work for you. And so I just like this story, guys. It's a, short little story. I like that the prince also has the same struggle, because even though he's a prince, you would be like, oh, well, he must have like the greatest magic of all. Like, there's so much pressure, right? But even for him, he's like, well, you could tell that they had the same struggle. They had the same struggle of trying to tap into their magic. And with that, they realized they had the same magic of glowing, glowing with a love that like was earned. You had to earn that love. You had to tap into that love for yourself, because even when you think you don't have magic, you do have magic. You're not disqualified from having magic. And so they just had the same powers, and it's just really, really cool. And so, yeah, and I feel like your power says a lot about you. What magical power do you have? That says a lot about you and your personality, your story. Which one would you want to have in your life? Me, I mean, obviously, the glow one is a really cool one, and I still like that one, but I also like the invisibility. I would love to just turn on the invisibility cloak magic spell and just be invisible, walk in places and just not have people look at me. And not like they're like everybody's looking at me or anything. It's just like I just don't want to be in people's presence. I just want to move silently. So yeah, I would say invisibility. But my first one is the glow one, though, because I feel like having a special glow within yourself is the true magic of who you are. And so really everyone has that magic. Wow, I'm just now like wow, that's actually really beautiful. Like every human being has that magic. That's the magic that we have on earth, is the magic of glowing from within, in whatever way that means to you, because we're all different. We all have different aesthetics, and we're all beautiful. And that's the beauty of what this is. That's the beauty of what this is. That's the beauty of God. It's the beauty of the universe. It's beautiful. So on that note, I don't know how long this episode is, but I hope you guys enjoyed. It was really fun to look up these princess narrations and to talk about them a little bit. I feel like I kind of didn't really have a structure. I just kind of wrote down the stories, and then I was like, wait, what am I gonna say about these? I didn't really write down points about that. But anyways, y'all don't care. Y'all didn't need to know that. I feel like I'm trying to learn how to like not say things that y'all don't need to know, so then y'all just like have this picture that's like you just not supposed to know certain things. But for me, I'm just like, I have to say it for some reason, because I want you to know everything. Even though you don't really need to know it, you don't actually have to know it, but it's just hard for me not to say it. I think I'm just too honest. I need to stop. But yeah, guys, thank you guys for listening to this episode. I'm about to turn on my laptop because I don't know how long this episode really is. I think it might be long enough. Okay, we'll see. But thank you guys for listening. If you made it all the way through, I love you. I was about to say I'm sorry for messing up, but I just need to stop saying those additional details, because y'all don't need to know that. And I need to stop being like down on myself, and also like noticing and nitpicking myself. But it's so hard, you guys. I'm my biggest critic, as you guys have learned and heard throughout this whole episode. I need to stop talking about that. Anyways, thank you guys for listening. Make sure to give this a thumbs up on YouTube. If you are on YouTube, subscribe for more podcast episodes. We are not stopping anytime soon, baby. And if we do stop, it's only for a break. But no, I love podcasting, and I'll forever do it. I know I'm gonna only get better at doing this, so if you want to stick around for the ride, I would love it. It would make my heart really happy. And if you are on Spotify or any other platform, make sure to give this a good 5-star rating. And if you have any constructive criticism that you want to tell me, DM me on Instagram. Everything, all my socials are in the description, so make sure to check that out. And also, if you are on the YouTube, make sure to comment. Okay, there's a lot of things to comment. 1, what's your favorite princess movie? And then 2, if you could have a magical power, what would yours be? Put both of those in the comments down below. I would love to see the responses from all of y'all. And on that note, I will catch you guys in the next episode. Make sure to glow every single day, even if it's a small glow. Make sure to love and glow. Okay, was that kind of corny? I think there's a lot of corniness in like princess movies and stuff. So, oh, I also forgot, this is at the end, but I also really love Sinbad. Sinbad is not a princess movie, but you know, I feel like it's like a low-key princess movie, and it's one of my favorites too. I said I was gonna literally leave like 10 seconds ago, so I'm gonna leave right now. Bye guys.